There's more people dying out here than anything. I want to know why was so many people that had cancer, that died of cancer, or was in remission of cancer. And my husband was one of those individuals that died with lung cancer. And you know why? We are surrounded by all types of pollution.
May I ask you what you think needs to be done in order to deal with this problem then? Do you want to shut down all the industry around here? Or do you want to move people out? What do you want to do?
Close all the industry down and relocate the people. I've been asking that for years.
When did you start your organization?
1979.
And why did you start it?
Because we was fighting housing, and there was a whole lot of things that need to be done. Then I looked around and seen where so many people were dying of cancer. The EPA, the United States EPA, and Illinois EPA used to have a meeting together. And I would go to that meeting, and I would say the same thing over and over and over again until they heard me. I was a troublemaker. Really, that's what they call me, the troublemaker. When you out there trying to do something for yourself and your community, that's the first thing they're gonna holler, you're a troublemaker. I'm the first Black to be involved with the environment. That's the reason why they call me the mother of the environment movement.
Sometimes, and I'm gonna be honest with you, that I told my mother, sometimes I wish you didn't get that gold medal. Sometimes I wish you haven't worked on the White House policy, because it really brought our enemy out to the forefront. I mean, people who you was working with, who you thought was on your side, started turning on that.
Hazel Johnson, you live in Altgeld Gardens in the middle of all of the expressways and chemical plants and sludge drying beds. Could you tell us, for those of us who don't come into your neighborhood, what is it like? What does it smell like? And what is it like to live there on a day-to-day basis?
It's like living in hell because of the odor that makes you sick all the time. And it's sickening to know that the people in our area is an isolated area, is a forgotten area that no one cares about.
I'm used to calling this area a toxic donut. We sitting in the center of it, and we are surrounded by all types of pollution.
The history of the contamination in this area goes all the way back to in the middle 1800s, where Pullman used to own all this land, and he used this as a sludge dump. So we have multimedia exposure, air, water, and land pollution in this area.
How are people getting exposed?
A lot of people probably have been pre-exposed to it because we had asbestos in our house.
Let me say one thing, you can get it through the air. The air plays a big part.
Well, just living around a bunch of steel mills, refineries, chemical companies, and the emissions that they put into the air, a lot of those particular matters are carcinogenic. But not knowing the history of the contamination is part of the major problems.
And what has been the result?
We have had birth defects in this area. You have many people that was born out here without sex organs. You have some people who will have double types of cancer. Breast cancer is high out here. Even prostate cancer is high out here. But it's the different types of cancer. This particular guy I grew up with, almost like he was older than me. And he died about 3 years ago. But he said, sure, I got 3 types of tumor cancers in my brain. I won't be here that long. There's never been an epidemiological study ever conducted in this area to determine what's causing all of these different problems. Back in 87, 88, that they did soil sampling, and they did find high concentration of pesticides in this area. And so the different type of chemicals that they find in the soil in this area that are elevated has never really truly been cleaned up. This is a map that was did for us by Chicago State University Geography Department. And what they did was list all the hazardous substances around Altgeld Gardens. So these are all the hazardous facilities that surrounds our community.
And how many are on that map?
Oh, sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. And it's more than that.
And see, what the industry was doing to us, I say, was a form of genociding. Because the majority of the places where they have the companies where it's water, then the next thing is a poor area where they know that people like us is not going to stand up and fight for our rights. And that's what they base on.
When she first started, she had a lot of stumbling blocks to go through because they had no mandate to deal with community issues in regard to the industrial pollution that was affecting our quality of life. This is one aspect of the 12898 executive order that President Clinton changed, because it opened up the door for resources to be given to communities impacted or live near toxic facilities. But the only problem with the executive order is that it doesn't have any enforcement actions. So you couldn't enforce none of the mandates that came out of the executive order. One of the physical significant change that we had out here, we forced CHA to clean up some PCB contaminants that was dumped in our neighborhood. It was a lawsuit that filed. It was filed in October of 1999 when Commonwealth Edison decommissioned all the electrical transformers. Okay. What they was used as a lubricant was this PCB oil, which is known to cause cancer. We fought to get that cleaned up. We lost that lawsuit because we could not prove, the lawyer could not prove the injuries related out here was related to being exposed to PCBs. But because we was grossly neglected as far as telling us that, because PCB has its own rules and regulation department, and you're supposed to notify people within a 25-mile radius there's PCBs in the community. CHA never disclosed that, so the judge felt they was grossly negligent in that aspect. So they told them that they had to compensate the resident in some form for not giving us a notification. And as the notification, as a result, residents was paid $900 per person as rent credit.
We should have the equal rights to clean air, clean water, clean land, just like Lincoln Park.
We still struggle in environmental justice within the city because the city of Chicago does not recognize environmental justice. The way to challenge and improve the quality of life for folks and to educate them about environmental issues is to do it by training. So we do a lot of environmental training because our goal is creating what we call an environmental remediation workforce. People, impacted residents, can learn how to remove contaminants out the soil through the various training. So technology today is much better than it was 100 years ago. So that diminished a lot of the toxins that I have in our area, but we're dealing with the residual effects. You know, one of the things that we know how to do in this country, we know how to dirty up stuff. but we don't have a process in place to clean it up.